What's up, y'all? It's Wayne. Check out Undisputed every Friday to hear my hottest takes from the week in sports. From the Cowgirls to Coach Prime to LeBron. Undisputed is your go-to for the best sports debates from me, Skip, and the crew. Tune in and follow us on foxsports.com, the Fox Sports app, YouTube, and anywhere you listen to podcasts.
Okay, what's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the TMossBoss show. And this episode, I'm gonna try my hardest not to follow the whole stereotype code thingy. I'm just gonna answer all these questions based off of the answers I just got built up in my head. But yeah, this is 27 questions for black people. I remember this was like a BuzzFeed video a while ago, and I don't know if I reacted to it or not. I can't remember if I did, but if I didn't, yeah, I guess this is, in a way, this is me answering those questions and things for the number one reason, me being black. I don't know, you'd be surprised. People will probably think that I'm like, I feel like that there's somebody out there, they definitely would argue with me being black. Like, I feel like there's going to be one day, I'm calling it right now, there's going to be one day where I'm getting into it with the hater, and they're going to say something racist, and I'm like, bro, that's racist, like, towards black people, and they're like, you're not black. I'm like, it's clear as day in that video that I'm black. Like, I have a birth certificate. It doesn't matter how many times I like prove it to them, they still would say that I'm not black. That's like that mental mind game stuff that I was talking about in the previous episode. But anyways, starting off with the first question, why is it so hard to be on time? You know, I don't necessarily, know too many black people that are late. I mean, I guess if it's like maybe an event that's not so serious, but if it's work, I feel like that here's why I'm gonna like use work as an example. I was working at this restaurant job for 4 years. Almost 4 years until all this like coronavirus pandemic stuff had happened. And the only time I had to say I was late, and I wouldn't even necessarily say that I was late, it was just me showing up like on time. But every other day, I would usually be like an hour or, maybe not an hour, probably like 30 to 40 minutes early. Every single day. Every single day. I will always show up early. There would be days where I would leave late. Yeah, I was probably one of the most hardest working people to like ever step foot in that building. I ain't even trying to brag or anything, but I'm just saying like, show up early, leave late, and then I was like, then there was also times where I remember, it seemed like, I don't know, I ain't gonna necessarily say that there's a lot of times we were short-staffed, but I feel like during the last, like, final, like, years of me working, well, I only worked there for 4 years, so I don't know why I'm like sitting here thinking like, dang, I always did say like after 4 years I want to leave that place, and then all of a sudden this stuff happens, and then I have all this time with YouTube. I'm saying then YouTube is doing so well, like something ain't right here. I mean, I ain't sweating about it and stuff, but I don't know. I was never late. Maybe other black people. There's probably black people that just don't really care. That's probably the black people in this world that are always late to events and things. Because they just don't care anymore. But next one, if my dab is on fleek, am I lit? Not even to be play the race card here, but that is probably the most widest question anybody has ever asked me. If my dab is on fleek, am I lit? No. You shouldn't be dabbing, and anything that you do should not be on fleek. I don't know, I'm one of those rare breeds of black people. Like, I don't really associate myself with, like, the whole, I don't know, I guess, like, the internet black culture. I'd rather be a part of, like, a legitimate black culture rather than stuff being on fleek or doing the latest TikTok dance or this or that. Like, you know, just the, like, I feel like the internet basics, like, I want to, like, get deep in depth with it. I don't want to, like, you know, be a part of all that stuff. Like, I don't want it to get to a point where I'm over here putting my life in danger, but I at least want to have the knowledge of, you know, the black community and things. I feel like I do, but it's questions like that. Yeah, it's just you know, it ain't really normal and things. But anyways, next question: what is it a problem? Why is it a problem if I like anime? Bro, there's no problem with that. I've been for the longest trying to get into anime. I've been trying to watch TV shows on Hulu, Netflix. I wish they would add like all the Dragon. I grew up watching anime, didn't even realize it until like as I got older. But yeah, I remember when I was a kid, I was watching Dragon Ball Z almost every single day. Every single day. So that's why I'm like, no, there is no problem with liking anime. No problem with liking anime. And if anybody tells you that it's a problem if you like not, see, there's a she's now like a friend of mine's and things, but it was an old coworker I used to work with. And she would tell me all the time like how her and her boyfriend would always be watching anime, and I'm like, see, that is perfect. That is like legitimate that's like a legitimate perfect relationship right there. It's like where y'all are into the same type of stuff. Like I'm saying, like I'm telling you, if there's a like, you know, whoever my like future girlfriend or wife is. Because what is it? What's the one like anime like streaming platform? It is one of those out there. But if she hasn't, she's just like, oh, like she's telling me about anime. She's getting me. I would be so with it. I would be so with that. I'm like, because I'm like, I straight up tell her, I'm like, I've been trying to get into it for so long now, and I just didn't know where to start. And she's giving me the like full on lesson of all anime. Oh yeah, I'm like, well, she's a keeper. So, anyways, yeah. So next question, why? Oh, this I was actually a part of this. There's a funny story behind this one, but anyways, next question, why do black people look at your shoes before they greet you? We just want to see what you're rocking. We just want to see what you're rocking. It was funny when I was at work. I remember my supervisor, she put me on blast for that. She because no, there's a dude that would come in there, always had some of the dopest shoes and stuff, always. And I worked in like a restaurant where it was a part of Nordstrom's. So every time there'd be people wearing like some like high-end, high fashion, you know, clothes and stuff. And so there's this one guy. It was around the time when I started getting into shoes too. So there's one guy I always paid attention to his footwear, always. And I remember I was like, I remember I went up to my supervisor. I didn't think she was gonna really like tell the guy that, but I remember I went up to my supervisor and was just like, yo, that guy comes in here all the time and he always has dope shoes. Like I don't even like say hi to him. I look at his shoes first before I say hi to him. Sure enough, my supervisor, she turns right back around and tells the guy like, oh yeah, my coworker, he doesn't say anything to you. He just like looking at your shoes. I'm like, thank you for making me seem like I'm a stalker. I'm like, bro, look, you just got nice shoes, all right? I cannot let that down. And from there, we were just really good. See, I'm trying to think because there's like two customers in my head. There's definitely the one where he always has some dope shoes, but then the other one, he had like the high-end like Balenciagas and all that stuff. Like the other guy, he would wear what I would wear, but he'll wear like a more expensive version of it and stuff. So, but but no, it was like two customers that I really did pay attention to, like both of their shoes and things. There was one customer, he made me feel like just my shoes wasn't. I had on some foam posits. Now, foam posits are probably one of the most expensive Nike shoes out there. They cost $230, but if you find like some special editions, they're gonna run probably a few $100s, more than $230. So I'm wearing them. It's me and my the other coworker. We were getting off work. We were in the elevators. The guy that be wearing like the Balenciagas and stuff. He's on there and things, and he was just like, "Oh, those are nice looking shoes." I'm like, don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try and make it seem like that my shoes are all like cute like a little kid or something, and you out here wearing $900 shoes. I was like, honestly though, because when he said that, the only thing that I was hearing was like, oh, look at the cute little shoes on the cashier's face while I'm a Nordstrom's employee that's making $100,000 a year. Like, I seriously degraded my shoes. Like, I'm like, I will not give you any more free food. Did I give him free food? No, I don't think I did. Nah, but I was like, in case if he ever did ask, I'm like, nah, you degraded my shoes. You degraded my footwear. So therefore, you get no free food. But anyways, next question. Why are we most likely to engage in the new dance trend than we are to get involved in politics or opening a business? I'm actually the opposite. I would like to get into politics, but it just seems like it's too much work. So that's why I'm like, I only want to be like, I mean, honestly, I think, yeah, of course I'll be like, in the a part of the Democrat Party and stuff. But I don't know, I'm not really a political person. Like, I try to like stay away from political things where it's like you gotta vote for one, vote for the other and stuff. But I mean, I would, and I definitely would love to open up a business. In fact, I'm always sitting down thinking about opening up a business. I was just thinking about opening up a shoe store. I would love to do some stuff like that. I love to do some stuff like that. Probably a rental property. My best friend, she has a painting business, and I would love to invest a lot of money into that business. So and I'm not really a dancer. I did back in the day when I would play the Michael Jackson Experience game, but it was like, yeah, I was just doing that. That's what it was just me and my sister was doing. We were like what we were doing and things like so. Yeah, if it's like that, if it's a game, okay, but yeah, I'm not really a TikTok or Instagram or any of those type of dancers and stuff. So, anyways, yeah, I'd rather open up a business, but. Then next question, how did watermelon become our thing? There's going to probably be a lot of black people that think that something's wrong with me, but I'm not really a fan of watermelon. I'm not at all. I know it was like, it tripped my parents out because they was just like, what do you mean you don't like watermelon? And I remember my mom had me try some watermelon one day and I'm like, why did I have this? It's not like it had like, I don't know. I wouldn't necessarily say that it's nasty, but it's just something, it like my taste buds, they, if it was like some American Idol type stuff, they all said no. All of them. They was just like, nope, like you definitely gonna have to work on this. I like watermelon flavored like candy, but it ain't the same though. So that's why I'm like, yeah, it's like, if it's candy, then okay, but if it ain't candy, then I'm like, if it's just full on watermelon, I'm like, yeah, it's just not my thing. I don't know, maybe for other people and stuff, it's just, I don't know how watermelon became black people's thing, but it ain't my thing. Yeah, it's not my thing. But anyways, this one, it was funny how this was just like went viral not too long ago. But anyways, they're like, why do we call each other the N-word, but get vehemently? What is that word? I'm not even going to try to pronounce that word again, but anyways, rereading the question without that word. Why do we call each other the N-word but get upset when a white person uses the N-word? Here's the thing. I don't really care, but I know that there's other people around me that cares. If it's like, the thing is I guess like if somebody's using it in a racist, derogatory way towards me, then I don't care. But if it's somebody that they think like, oh, because he's black, I'm cool with them, so I'm allowed to say it. No, you're not allowed to say it. My thing is, if you're comfortable saying that around me, you go up to like a black family reunion, stand in the middle of everybody, and then say it. Or go down to either California or New York, you find some Crips or you find some Bloods that are black, of course, and you go in front of them and say it. You can go in front of like white people and say it and they will get upset. I don't know how many times I told like people how I was called, like how I'm being called the N-word and a bunch of other like racist derogatory names and stuff on YouTube and even out in public. I'll never forget the time when I was 11 and the old woman called me, like she didn't say it to my face, she was screaming it from her window, but still though, like I've dealt with racism pretty much a good portion of my life and things. So yeah, I was, it's somewhere I'm like, they ain't gonna do it in front of people, so therefore I'm like, yeah, but it's like, well, a black person, of course, they're gonna go up to other black people and say it and things. They even say it to white people, so that's why I'm like, yeah, it's, black people are comfortable with saying that word. White people, you're gonna have to go through, like, security saying that word, because it's just, to me, I'm like, yeah, if you can't go, and it's, and I remember they showed something like that in that TV show Atlanta with Childish Gambino. He was saying it in front of Childish Gambino because he's like, oh yeah, there ain't no problem saying it in front of him. But when he brought over his cousin and then the cousin's friend, and he was just like, oh, maybe I shouldn't say this word. Yeah, it's like, and then also, and there was a news reporter. He was like, he pretty much asked the same answer or asked the same question. And then there was a black guy on his show that was like, well, say it, like there ain't nobody stopping you. Say the word. And the news reporter was like, oh, I don't want to say it. I don't want to say it at all and things. But I'm like, come on now. It's like, you ask a question like that. It's like, you ain't like you answer or asking it for somebody else and things. Like, it's like if you were, if they came out on TV and they said that white people are now allowed to use the N-word without any consequences or repercussions or any of that stuff. Oh, there would be so many white people that would start saying the word. They'd be like, oh, it's legal now. I mean, it ain't, well, is it illegal? I mean, I guess it is in a way, but yeah, I don't know. I guess it's illegal for black, well, I mean, it's not illegal. Black people would say that it is illegal because it's like, just the safety of the white people that want to use the word. But if they said like, oh, you can say it without nothing happening to you and stuff, oh yeah, there'd be so many, I know there'd be so many white people that I came across on a daily basis that would have said the N-word to me. I can see it in like, there's like customers at my job, I can see it in their face that they wanted to say it to me and stuff. So I'm like, if you do, I'm not going to really care, but there's going to probably be some other people in the area that do care and stuff. So that's on you if you want to lose a job. But anyways, next question. Why is my natural hair, the hair that grows out of my head, seen as a political statement? I don't know. I necessarily don't care if white people are rocking like black hairdos, like afros and dreads and all that stuff. It doesn't really matter to me. I remember it was the coworker at my job. He asked me how would that make him feel if he wore dreads, and I knew that it was because it would like. I know with like any other black person, it probably would have started something. But with me, like I said, I don't really care about like stuff like that and things. So I told him straight up, I was like, I honestly wouldn't care. I'm like, in fact, like if you do come through with dreads, I'd like, that's just something that I never would have imagined. But I'm like, no, please do so. Please do it, because I need to see it. I don't care if it's a wig. Like, just put it on real quick just so I can see it. And I can like, then I'm like, I ain't like hurting my brain trying to imagine it. But it's like, now that I've seen it, I'm like, okay, that's what he would look like. But yeah, it's like, I don't really care. That's what I'm like, when I'd seen like posts or stories and there's just like, oh, white people are blackfishing. I guess when they're trying to tan their skin and look black and saying that they're black. But if it's a hairstyle, I'm like, it's a hairstyle. Then I'm like, there ain't no difference, if a black person straightens out their hair or have some like white person's haircut and stuff. You see black people doing that all the time. So yeah, I'm like, I guess straightening out the hair is a very common hairstyle, but there's like, it's like them like emo black people. They be having the white hairstyles and stuff. Ain't nobody saying anything to them and things. Well, they probably all like, nah, something ain't right with them. But I don't really care. I guess, like, I don't know. If I were to see my coworker and he had a hairstyle like mine, I would like, nah, this is something. I'm like, nah, you gotta rock this a whole day now. I'm like, it's too late. I ain't seen it. Now you gotta rock it. And I'm like, nah. And I'm like, we can't just let this go. So, but anyways, next question. Why do we think people with light skin look better than people with dark skin? I don't know. I really don't know. I honestly, the whole light skin, dark skin, beef, it doesn't, I don't really care. I'm like, there's dark skinned people I seen that look better than light skinned people, and there's light skinned people I seen that look better than dark skinned people. Overall, like, there ain't no difference. We still gonna be like black at the end of the day and things, so so I'm like, that whole light skin, dark skin war, I'm like, that's, to me, it's, I guess, there's probably, there's like benefits, I guess, being light skinned and things, people think like, you're the next Drake, and they ain't like, no, like, I'm whoever I am, like, that's, but yeah, I guess, it's messed up overall. It's like people think that way. It's like, cause yeah, there's I ain't gonna say it because it might start something and things, but no, there's people out there that just they think dark skinned people are better and they think light skinned people are better. If you ask me, like, what do you think is better? None, neither. I'm like, they're both equal. I'm like, overall, I ain't trying to say like I just don't overall like black people, but I'm just saying that whole war. If it's like you guys asking me, I'm like, none, neither. It's like, there's it's a tie, it's a draw, but yeah, I don't really care about that stuff. But anyway, I just don't really care about a lot of like things that's like stereotypical about black people and stuff. But anyways, next one, do you really believe that black is beautiful, or is it just something that you say because it sounds cool? I mean, I think everybody is beautiful in their own way and stuff. Like, I guess like the way that they flaunt it, like if you like flaunt the fact that you're like beautiful and stuff, then you're rocking it, you rocking that. But It's yeah, I don't know. I feel like that there's that there's just there's probably black groups out there that's like that's their like catchphrase, that's their saying and stuff. It is what it is. I ain't gonna argue with it. It's like black is beautiful and things, but it's just somewhere I'm like, don't use that as like your final statement in an argument about black people and stuff. Like, just there's more. I feel like that there's more to it, and people are just overall just saying that part, like black is beautiful, trying to start something and things. I'm like, nah, just rock it, but don't abuse it and things. But anyways, next question: why do some black people say that you're pretty for a dark skinned girl? That's just rude. That's rude. I don't think I've ever said that to a girl. I'm trying to think. Nope. Nope. I don't know. People probably like, cause I don't know. My overall like preference in women, but it ain't like somewhere I'm like I'm just going to overall like disclose like any other relationship out of my life and things. Like, I'm not gonna start any other relationship, whether it's a white woman or a black woman or Asian woman or Middle Eastern woman. But my preference is Hispanic women. I love Hispanic women. I've been loving Hispanic women since I was a kid. That's gonna probably be a question in here too. But no, it's just like, but I'm not like that person where I'm like, if I see a black woman and things, like if I do have feelings for her and stuff, then and I have had feelings for black women before, whether they were dark skinned, whether they were light skinned. But I ain't gonna be like, oh, you pretty for a dark skinned girl. I'm like, that's just rude. You don't say that. You don't say that at all. You always like, you shouldn't even think something like that. But anyways, next question: why do some black men only date white women? I think it's based off of their past experiences with black women. They probably dated some like very hood black. I don't know. The thing is, though, you gotta be careful of white women, cause a black woman, she would threaten to stab you, but a white woman, she actually would stab you. Like, no disrespect, but I'm saying though, like a white woman's anger is a little bit like when they're at that full stage of anger. They're like, and it's like they could be at the same level as black women anger, but a white woman anger, oh, you be careful, be careful. She will hide your kids, stab you, tie you to a bed, burn you, cut your privates off. I mean, a black woman would just threaten that stuff. But a white woman, she will actually commit to that stuff. Like, I'm like, I guess, like, I'm like trying to crack a joke here, but at the same time, like, I don't really hear too many black women, doing stuff. Like, they were just promoting the story of the woman. I think her name is Lorena Bobbitt. And she cut her husband's privates off for cheating on her. Now, a black woman, she'll do petty things. A black woman would do petty things. Like, she'll bend his Jordans or crease his Jordans, cut up his clothes, bleach his clothes, put, put his business out there on blast on the internet and things. A white woman, she'll be like, so you gonna cheat on me? She will hang you upside down from a tree and hit you in the, head with a bat. And she was like, I'm going to come through here every single day at 8:30, and this is going to be your punishment until I feel like that you should be cut down from this tree. I'd be so scared. The whole day. And then she's like, if anybody tries to help you, they end up getting killed. Like, that's like, I'm like over here describing a Lifetime movie and crap. But no, though, like, I just feel like that there's some white women out there. It's kind of scary. I'm like, so the black man that only dates white women, be careful. Because you got that story, the woman that cut the dude's privates off. Then there was the one, I can't remember why she stabbed and killed her husband, but I remember there was this major news story where the woman, she stabbed her husband a bunch of times. I don't know if she overall shot him or anything, but she did stab him a bunch of times. I was like, dang, that's crazy. But anyways, why is it okay? Oh, so next question. Why is it okay for black men to date white women, but not okay for a black woman to date outside her race? I joke about that. I honestly, I joke about it, but at the end of the day, I don't really care. I'm like, that, the fact that you can, go out of your race and find somebody that loves you for you, that's amazing. That's seriously dope. I encourage that type of behavior. You know, it's like whether it's within your race or without your race, if you can just find somebody that you can be with for the rest of your life, whether they're your race or another race, then it's good. That's good. That's now to me that's some beautiful stuff right there. But yeah, I'm not the person where I'm like, you know, because even my sister, she's dated white men before, and I'm like, it wasn't something where I was like, I brought it to her attention. I'm like, this makes me feel uncomfortable. It's her life. Why do I have it? Why should I have a say so in my sister's life? That's her life. If she wants to date white men, she can date white men. She wants to date black men or Asian men or any other men outside her race. That is her choice, not mine. That's her life. She can do whatever she wants to do with it. But and that's like to any like black like lady friends that I have, like, date outside your race. Do it. Don't think that you only like, because I know with some races, I remember I watched a video on it where Hispanic parents don't want their kids to date outside their race. I remember I watched this girl, shout out to Bert Martinez. I should watch one of her videos one of these days. It's been a while. But anyways, she made this video why like Hispanic women can't date black men. And I remember I dealt with an experience like that when I was a kid, or not when I was a kid, when I was in high school and stuff. And I'm like, yo, what's the problem? Like, black people, I'm not. If you think I'm like a crazy black person, I'm not. Like, maybe I'm playing video games, but I think that's mandatory. You know that everybody is like that, but. Anyways, but no, it was like this like whole video explaining that and things. I'm like, man, if y'all be surprised if you do your history on black people and Hispanic people. It's funny because I remember I was like, I'm probably gonna work on that documentary again, because I remember I lost all the material on it and stuff. But I was doing a documentary and it was about, like, you know, slaves and stuff that would, like, you know, escape from their, you know, white people and things that's like bought them as a slave. I don't really want to call them like a slave owner, or well, I guess, like, yeah, in a way and stuff. But anyways, so yeah, I remember I read this part that I was just like, see, black people and Hispanic people, they have like Mexican people, they have like a connection, because they said black people would escape to Mexico, and Mexican people was all like, nah, you ain't taking them back. So that's why I'm like, I think that is so dope. That's so dope. And I'm like, yeah, there's always gonna be a part of me that just has like a strange love for Hispanic people. I love me some Hispanic people and stuff. But anyways, but no, date outside your race. There ain't no problem with it and things. So anyways, next question: why do you protest Black Lives Matter but tear down each another? Why and then tear each other down in the next breath? It's a good question. That's a very good question. You know, it's like I feel like there's people in this world that are black and that's then killed another black person, and then turn back around like 2 years later, see some teenager get killed by some cops. Like, it's okay if you do it to another black person because you're in a gang and all that stuff, and it's just gang warfare. But as soon as it was like a cop that killed some like black person and things, you're all like, oh nah, that can't happen. That can't roll like that. My thing is, there's no difference than when a person, you know, pulls a gun out and they pull a trigger on somebody. There's no difference. There's no difference whatsoever. So whether it's a cop that does it, or whether it's a black blood member or a black Crip member, there's no difference. There's no difference at all. So therefore, if you can turn around, kill a black person and stuff, you should not be the one preaching Black Lives Matter. It's the most invalid statement that you can possibly bring into the world. You'll kill a black person because they rep in a different gang, but you will preach Black Lives Matter and talk about how cops are doing the wrong thing just so you can turn around and kill them because they're in the gang that, you know, that you're having a current war with. I'm not with that. I'm not with that at all. So, next question. Why do we say that we don't want to be seen as a monolith, but then try to wait? What? What is that? What are these words, bro? A large single upright block of stone, especially one shape. I don't even. So like, we don't want to be seen as a monolith, but. Then, so a stone? Like, what is that? Anyways, we'll just read the question. but then try to take people's black cards away for not liking something that's supposedly black. That's what I'm like. That was one thing I was like, I remember growing up, and there's like kids that would say that, and I'm like, I'm sorry for not, wearing my pants below my butt, or wearing the newest Jordans, or wearing a big giant white t-shirt, got my hat on backwards, smoking weed. Sorry, I'm not your stereotypical black person and things. I just like being me, And then that's like a thing, just like growing up where they're all like, oh, like, Tyler is whitewashed, or what other thing where it's like, oh, you don't have a black card anymore because I'm doing this, or I'm acting wild and things. I'm not your stereotypical black person. There's like friends, I'm like, nah. It's like, there people I'm still friends with till this day that ain't said that stuff, and I'm like, you know what? I'm like, I ain't rolling with that. I'm like, they don't say it anymore, but I'm like, that's something I'm like, I think nowadays I would have to correct them on some stuff like that. I'm like, I'm not whitewashed. And I'm like, because most likely you would be the number one person screaming Black Lives Matter if I was to get shot and killed. So don't give me that, oh, you whitewash thing and all this other crap. And I'm like, you would be the number one person preaching that and stuff. So, yeah, I ain't with that. I ain't with that at all. Next one, why are we so quick to support a non-black owned business but then hesitate when it's a black owned business? I support any business, whether it's black owned or another race that's owns that business and things. That's what I'm like, I never understood that. I'm like, I would be so with it to support a black business. I don't care what kind of business it is. And that's what I'm like, people don't realize, like, when you're buying like shoes or clothes from these designers and things, most likely I can't really say that it's black owned. I guess maybe the only one that is probably Jordan. But yeah, that's probably about it. Like, but it's, I don't know. I guess they're trying to maybe like aim for something a little bit smaller than Jordan and stuff. Either way, whether it's a big black-owned business or a small black-owned business, I'm gonna support it. I'm not going to discourage it because it's black-owned. Like, that's somewhere I'm like, it just doesn't really make any sense. Like, why do that and things? But anyways, next one. Is there a cutoff time for this whole homophobia thing in the black community? I wonder what they mean by cutoff time. Like, I guess, I don't know. Maybe I guess they're trying to say, like, when will it end? I guess, like, more so they're probably trying to ask, like, when is this, like, whole, like, being homophobic thing, when is that going to end within the black community? You would be surprised on how many gay black people are out there and stuff. Like, you will be very, very, very surprised. So that's why I'm like, I think that cutoff point was established a long time ago. When there's a one, I was like watching the one wrestling show, AEW, and they got, WWE and AEW, they both had, gay black wrestlers and stuff, or, I don't even know. See, I'm like, they're gay. I'm like, but it just doesn't sound right. I'm like, I don't know. I feel like that's just too much of a strict word, and then, well, not necessarily strict, but it's too much. Like, I don't feel comfortable calling, they like the same sex. Okay, there we go. I know people are about like TMossBoss is way too nice. Like, he don't even feel comfortable calling people like gay and things. I don't, like, it's just something about it. I'm like, it's like, I guess, you like, I haven't used it. Well, maybe I might have, like, saying it to like friends on Call of Duty and things, and I just get mad at them and stuff. But it's just like such a derogatory like word and stuff to just, I don't know, saying things. So I don't feel comfortable. I'm like, if they are like, oh, they like the same sex, that's it. But I'm like, I can't call them gay. It's just something about it. I just don't. I can't do it. But anyways, next one. Why is growing up without a father so common in our race? I don't know. I really don't know. I know people are probably like, I grew up with a father, so I don't know. I ain't gonna. I don't want to be that person where I'm like, I ain't had to worry about that and things. I'm glad that I ain't have to worry about that. I love my dad, but I don't know. Even my dad, he grew up with his father and stuff. And I believe my grandfather, he grew up with his father. So, it's like that maybe with some black people. Maybe just like, we are we're a pretty rare breed. I think if I overall went over all the things that's then like been involved in our family and stuff, we are some rare black people. Like we are. There ain't something's like we're like some magical black people. I swear something ain't right about us. But anyways, I don't know. I think maybe along the lines like they just don't really like they just maybe not like mentally prepared to be a kid and stuff, or to be a father and things to their kids. But yeah, I think I don't know. I think within our family, we're all kind of like mentally prepared to be a father and stuff. My dad, he definitely. I will hope by then when I was born, he was mentally prepared for it. Because I mean, I do have an older sister, so I would imagine he was pretty mentally prepared for it. I've been mentally prepared to be a father. That's one thing that I actually would love is to be a father. I'm like, seriously, I think that was like one thing where I'm like, if there is ever a friend of mine, because there's like friends of mine that I went to school with that have had kids, but they're no longer with the baby's father and things. And if something were to happen between, I'd treat the kid like my own. Definitely, I would be like I don't know. I would try to be the greatest step. I'd just be another Russell Wilson. Seriously, I would. Like I'd just be a really just get to the point where I'm like it ain't even like a stepfather thing. Like I'm just a full on father and stuff. Like I so would take care of like if it was like any of the girls that talked to me from school that had kids and stuff. If there's like they ever I'm like, I'm down to be a stepfather and things, you know. I'm just like, if you expected me to whoop the kid, that's one thing I will not do. I will not whoop the kid. I'm like, nope, that is on you. I don't want to see. That's the thing, though. I don't want to be a snitch about like, so somebody that's underage in this house did some things at school. I know I graduated. I know you graduated, so that leaves your kid and stuff. I'm not whooping him. That's on you. But anyways, next question. Why don't we like to confront our mental health issues? I do. I'm so with it talking about like I feel like that's like there's probably some black people that left this world that didn't talk about their mental health and things. And I encourage anybody and everybody to talk about your mental health. Whether you're black or outside the black race, talk about it. Get it off your chest. Don't let that stuff be bottled up until your final days on earth. I feel like if you let that stuff out, you most likely live like a much more longer and healthier life and stuff. So, anyways, why is there a checklist for being black? I didn't even know that there was a checklist for being black. I know there's probably a lot of things that I ain't had to check off of that list of being black, but I didn't even know there was a list, but... next one. Why is being educated considered a white thing? No, it's not. That is no. I mean, I would say that it's not, but there's probably black people in this world that's like, like get yourself an education and be like the white people. They'll say some stuff like that and things, but I'm like, shouldn't think along those lines. I don't know. I don't want to say some stuff like that where I'm like a black education is more important than a white education. But at the same time, though, a black person that's like educated, like they've graduated high school, they graduated college, they got master's degrees, bachelor's degrees, and all that stuff. I feel like, and then, because no, like that's I'm like I feel like that is something that does happen where it's like a black person would have all of that. And then the white person will also have all that too. But if the black person's name is like Bartholomew Jackson or something, and then the other guy, his name is like John Smith, I feel like John Smith will definitely get hired on before Bartholomew Jackson and things. Like, it's such like a black name. Like, that was the only name I can really think of at the time. I know people are like, bro, what name is that? I've never met any black person named Bartholomew. I've heard of that name before. I think I was watching Nick Cannon's show Wild and Out, and they called them that, and I was like, it's a very black name. But anyways, I wouldn't consider it a white thing. I feel like a black person with an education, that's something to brag about. That's something to be happy about. So next one. Dang, how many questions are there? I think there's like 27 or something like that. Dang, there's a bunch of questions. Next one. Why do I have to be mixed in order to have long hair? I feel like if a black person, if you take care of your hair properly, you can have long hair too. And I mean like a dark skinned black person, like somebody like myself. Like if I took care of my hair the right way, like if I did the right things to it, like every single day and things, yeah, I feel like I have me. I mean, my hair, it is kind of like long already. It hasn't, I don't know, my hair has never really been this long before. Like to the point where I can like pull it down to like my eyebrows and stuff. But my hair, it's pretty long. It's pretty long. But yeah, I'm like, it's, yeah, black people, if you, yeah, just take care of your hair the right way and you have long hair too. But next one, why do you think well-off black people don't know what it means to be black? I feel like that there are some black people in this world where you've, I don't know, I ain't trying to like play the race card or say some like racist stuff, but I feel like that there are some black people in this world that has definitely lived a white life. And yeah, they look at other black people and they're like, oh, you're this, you're that, I gotta cross the street, I can't trust you. And I'm like, you came from the same area I came from. You're in the same area we all came from and things. Like, no, I remember that it was like at my job, there was or at my old job. I feel like now I can like talk about things now. Like, I'm like kind of scared too because I'm like, dang, but at the same time, I'm like, you know what? Nah, I gotta talk about this. But no, there was a black woman at my job that was like, if I looked at her and smiled, nothing. We lived in the same area. We caught the same bus. We worked in the same building. One would think like, oh, okay, we see each other a lot. We should, that, it just trips me out though, where I'm like, then there's like white people that I've worked with where I would consider a white guy more of my brother and things than, a black person that's done worked there, and then they just says some like, crazy that. No, because there's the one black guy, I remember he got mad at me because I shortchanged him and he told me I should have paid for college. And I'm like, bro, it ain't that serious, especially when it's only a few, like, it was like 2 cents. That's how much I shortchanged him. And I think it was because I gave him like a penny and I was just like, oh, I messed up. Gave him another penny and then he gonna look at me talking about, you should have paid for college. And I'm like, bro, what kind of statement is that? You're mad because I shortchanged you 2 cents? I'm like, well, just to make sure from now on, I'm going to overcharge you 2 cents just so I make sure I give you, that, or take away. I'm like, man, please don't say some stuff like that to me. And I'm like, God, honestly, if it was like at a point in time where anything goes, it was a no disqualification match, like, that like anything just can happen. Yeah, I definitely would have had some like choice of words to say to that guy. But I figure, I'm at my workplace. I'm not trying to lose my job for saying some stuff. So therefore, I held on to what I had to say, but I overall didn't have anything else to say to that guy after that. He'll try to start conversations with me, and I'm like, bro, I know how you act. I know how you act. Don't try to like switch sides now. It's like you done walk the land with Luke Skywalker. Now you trying to volunteer yourself for the dark side. Nah, you good on where you're at. So, but yeah, there's it's messed up that there's black people that's out there like that and things like you done hung out with some like I wouldn't necessarily say like racist white people, but some white people where they look down on black. I guess maybe that is racism, but I don't know. But anyways, but it's like, I don't know. It's to be continued with that statement. But anyways, next one, why do some black people say, oh, I have Native American in my family in order to feel interesting or more vulnerable than other black people around them? I feel like there's probably a good portion of black people that has some sort of Native American heritage. Like, because I think that's what my mom was telling me. My third great grandmother was, she was Indian. So I was all like, and then, yeah, I was like, so I don't know. To me, I was just more so like, wow, that's crazy. Like, because, your whole life, you just don't ever think about that type of stuff. You just think everybody in your family line was black. But then once you realize, like, you had some more in the tank and things, like, oh, well, all right then. Like, I can, yeah, I like that. I like that. That's something I'm like, I can, and I don't really think of myself as, like, more valuable or anything else. Like, I'm just like, oh, it's just a fun fact about myself. Like, I don't see it as, like, oh, I gotta like, put that down. And when I'm like filling out something, they're like, oh, what are you? Like, I'm like, oh, I'm Indian because my third great grandmother. I'm like, it's clear as day I'm black and things. But anyways, yeah, it ain't something to brag about, just fun fact about yourself. But oh, next two questions look pretty interesting. Well, and mainly the last one. I need to read this second to last one. Why can't we just acknowledge that there are a bunch of different types of black people walking around, and they're all amazing and unique and special in their own way? I agree, but it's those black people where they look at other black people as like, a racist white person. That's why I'm like, nah, they need a reality check. They need a reality check. They need to get pulled over by a cop and get patted down for no reason, or get looked at by an older older woman and things, like somebody that looked like Tweety Bird's grandmother or something. Yeah, they need to get, they just need a reality check. And then I feel like that's when, they don't even have to, like, ask permission to be welcomed back to the dark side. Like, no, you overall, like, you realize how it was and you found your way back, but it ain't something like, you needed needed me to hold your hand while coming back and things. So, yeah, I shouldn't have to tell black people that, but there's some black people, it's like, sometimes you gotta tell them, but anyways, and then the next one, why are we always looking for the discount? I try to save my money, and I always look for discounts. I don't even really care. I always use my discounts. There's times where I forget about my discounts, but when they told me about like apps, and they were just like, oh yeah, you could just put the discount on the app and then use it then, I'm like, that is amazing. I always like, because I'm into sneakers and stuff. So when they be like, so when I get like a certain pair, they were like, oh yeah, you get like a $25 off coupon or a gift card and things. I'm like, what? Really? For me? I'm like, all right, bet. I'm like, I'll take it. Shoot, I don't care. But yeah, but no, see, here's the thing. Here is the thing. At my job, when there's a lot of white people that had worked at my job. And there were a lot of white people that came up to me and they told me about some store that was selling like things for like a discounted price and stuff. And I'm like, oh, well, you told me something that was useful. I'm like, and that's the thing. I'm like, I didn't care. They was just like, they were doing it because they're like, oh, he's black. He's going to most likely use it. Here's the thing. I don't mind paying full price. I don't mind paying discounts. So overall, I don't try to look for a discount. I don't try to look for a... and that's another thing. I'm like, not like handouts, but I don't know. I guess I don't worry so much about like the whole money thing. Like at the end of the day, it's just either I'm going to lose it or either I'm going to gain it. It's a 50-50 chance on how that stuff is going to work out. And it's like, and I know people are all like, oh, black people are always like looking for ways to like make money or, all that stuff. And I'm like, that's not necessarily true either. I feel like everybody's like looking for a way to make money, but it's like, there's some black people out there that's a little bit more grimier about it and stuff. Like I remember when one of my friends, it was my best friend. Her cousins needed some shoes, and I don't know whether she was thinking like, oh, he's black, he's gonna probably ask for money and stuff. I told her straight up, no. I don't need the money. I don't need the money at all. Like, it's like, most people would say that they would need the money, but I'm like, nah, I don't. Like, I feel like that it's like we're good friends and stuff. Giving you guys things would not really matter. Like, I don't know. Like, I was just like, it doesn't really matter to me. So I'm like, the discounts or easy way ins or easy way out, that type of stuff, it doesn't really matter to me and things. So that's just how I am. I'm a rare black person, all right, people? I think I'm going to title this episode that Rare Black Person Answers Black Questions, because I would say I'm different in a way. But anyways, probably there's other black people that's out there like me and stuff. But anyways, I will talk to you guys later. Thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this episode. If you're viewing this on YouTube, like and subscribe. And if you're viewing this on the podcast streaming service, make sure you follow or subscribe, however it's set up. And if you are purchasing tickets from SeatGeek, make sure you use my promo code TMossBoss. It will knock $20 off your first purchase. And that being said, I'll talk to you guys later. Thank you for watching and or listening, and peace.